Most of the agenda items for both pre-K, K1 and 2 are very similar. I have a separate PowerPoint for boys 1 and girls 1 and 2. So again, our agenda item, just a brief welcome, as we did, coaching with Somerville Youth Soccer, information on the fall 21 season, coaches to-dos. We'll have a Q&A at the end for both groups, for all 4 levels. From my end as the executive director, again, I can't thank you enough for volunteering. Last spring, we added 5 new teams. We are finalizing the count for all 4 levels right now. And we have over 1,000 registrants for the 2nd straight year. We had almost 1,100 in the spring. We're very close to that in the fall. For everyone that is volunteering to coach in Somerville Youth Soccer, there are 2 things that you'll need to do. And that is, if you haven't already done so, is to get credentialed as soon as possible. You can do that first by visiting the Mass Youth Soccer website, mayouthsoccer.org, and you will go through a process of registering and a Corey check, and we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. And the other thing is, though there are no COVID protocols per se within the city for outdoor events this year and throughout, as the governor said, relax that in the spring. There have been no new directives from the EEA or Mass Youth Soccer regarding outdoor events. So there is no mask protocol currently for outdoor events in the city, so, or in the state. So 5 things that we'll talk about regarding coaching with SYS. We just talked about with credentialing and certification. That should say fall coaching vacancies, which I know we have several at all 4 levels. Our our program philosophy. We have talk about our coaching manual, which is available to you all, and addressing any behavioral issues that may come up during the course of these. So. There we go. Sorry about that. With regard to credentialing, as I said, all volunteers must pass a Corey background check and complete concussion and abuse prevention online training. Those modules are available at on the Mass Youth Soccer website. The registration and the Corey check really take about 5 minutes to complete. The others are a little bit more time consuming, about 20 to 30 minutes for the concussion training, and the abuse prevention session go about 90 minutes to 2 hours. But you can find more information about that at Mass Youth Soccer. We also have it on our website at somervillesoccer.org. If you're interested in obtaining certification or licensure through US Soccer, it's a grassroots program that the organization is engaged in nationally. We encourage that as an organization. And if you're interested in pursuing that opportunity, then we will reimburse you for any fees that you incur during the course of that instruction. So just something to consider going forward. Apologies here, my screen's frozen a little bit. There we go. We are looking for coaches, both pre-K, K, and 1st and 2nd grade, both head and assistant coaches. We as an organization, Jake Wilson, our immediate past president, is serving as our volunteer coordinator. He is one of 3 board members, 4 board members we have on the call right now. 5 actually. Greg Jenks has also joined us, our director of soccer. Dave Ahaus, our fields director, and we have 2 of our age coordinators on the call as well. So we can help you recruit for positions. Please keep in mind that you don't necessarily need to know the game of soccer in order to be a coach, in order to volunteer your time to be a part of this. We will help you through that process. Greg will speak a little later about a program that we've initiated, a coaches mentoring program, but we will help you engage anyone who you might be interested in volunteering their time. And if you know of individuals that don't even have children within the city, in the school system, or have children in the city, we have two coaches that are with us right now at different levels that don't have children in the public schools or in the city. So, and they have done a wonderful job coaching through the ranks. One is actually, both of them are coaching travel teams this fall. So if you know of anyone that is interested that doesn't have a child in the school system, please, they are more than welcome to be part of that, and we will assist in the training of that going forward. Our in-town program philosophy is similar to every aspect of Somerville Youth Soccer. It is very family oriented in terms of rostering. The key is to have fun. It starts with our Tykes program at 2 years old. It goes all the way as they go through competitive travel up until high school. The first goal is to have fun. The second is obviously our goal is to give families times that work for them whenever possible, and we try to honor teammate and coaches' requests when we can. At the in-town level, that's certainly something that is amenable for all of our teams. Our roster sizes are very manageable and workable. There are 10 to 12 players per team, with drills and inter-squad scrimmages that take place in each session. Every player should get equal playing time. They should play about 50% of the time during the sessions, and obviously in the game sessions and practices. Everyone should play at least 50% of the time. So that is a key thing to remember going forward. With regard to communication, if you haven't already done so, please download the Sports Engine app. That is the primary source of communication that we have for our chat room and through our email messaging. Once you have completed registration through both Mass Youth Soccer and Somerville Youth Soccer, your account will be placed into Sports Engine, and you'll be assigned accordingly. So again, for the pre-K, it is 10 to 12 players per roster. For the first and second grade, it's 7 to 8 players per roster. And again, we have a separate PowerPoint presentation. If for those people that weren't available to make the call, again, we'll have this recorded, and I can also share with you the PDF documents from both PowerPoints. So last thing about philosophy, program philosophy, obviously coming, in the pandemic last spring, the circumstances were different as far as contacts. If you're going to carpool to a practice or to a game, please do it safely. Obviously be vigilant of COVID protocols and just be aware. So if you're going to carpool together, we ask that you please do it safely. You can see the sign on the to the left, cheer, support, and enjoy. Again, coaches are volunteers, referees are human. We'll talk about this later on. There is a huge referee shortage right now in all sports throughout the state and throughout the country. So we are very mindful of that. Remember, it's a game. They're there to have fun. They're there to learn. They're there to become great teammates. So just keep that in mind as the year goes along. We do have a coaching manual available on our website, which will be a valuable resource for coaches coming in. It contains information on coaching and playing philosophies, developmental targets by age, as well as practice planning tips. That is available on our website at somervillesoccer.org /coaches, and it can also be emailed to you in a PDF document. So that will be something that can be very useful going forward as your seasons continue. Behavioral issues. Hopefully no one experiences any behavioral issues at any time during the course of the year, but we've outlined a plan that you should review and adhere to in the event that you do have any behavioral problems. An adult chaperone should be at all the training sessions or games for each player. If there are problems, please discuss them with the player first. If the behavior persists, please discuss it with the parent or guardian at that point. If you are forced to take additional action, you can view the 7 items below. There are consequences if the behavior continues. They can range from a verbal warning, or unless the behavior is deemed dangerous, a timeout for 10 to 15 minutes, dismissal from the training or the game completely, which we hope does not escalate to that, and or escalate to the items below that: suspension from the next event, suspension from a series of events, and ultimately expulsion from the team and eligibility to register for future seasons. We are hopeful that there are no incidents that take place of that nature at any point in any program during the course of the year. But we wanted to advise you in advance that these are the steps you should take to address any such behavior that happens. Does anyone have any questions on that? Okay, I'm going to talk regarding the fall 21 season with 5 specific pieces of information on the calendar, scrimmages, uniforms, fields, and our weather policy and cancellation. Right now, both the pre-K, grade 1 and 2 will begin practicing training on September 7th. The key thing to remember with pre-K and K is that we are back to weeknight training sessions this fall, which is different from the spring, and we're back to Saturday games as well. There was discussion, we had discussion in our Tykes group previously, and I'm going to poll the age coordinators about this, about whether we are having games on Columbus Day weekend, which would be October 9th, and we'll get that information out to you once that decision is reached. The last day of games would be on Saturday, November 6th, which is the first weekend of November. Any questions on that? Okay, for games, again, we're back to the regular format for the year. 2 25-minute halves, 4-on-4 with goalkeepers, which are goalie and 3 field players. We encourage everyone to try playing in goal. I know kids sometimes get scared of it. They see the ball coming at them. They don't necessarily want to do it. We encourage our coaches to have everyone try playing in goal. And you'll be surprised that sometimes when they actually get in, kids really enjoy it. They like being involved in the action. They like to kick the ball up in the air. But we encourage that as, I'm sorry, we don't kick it in there. I'm being parenthetical, but they like to be a part of that. So goalkeepers play as sweepers. They push it up the defender. Again, they do not kick the ball into the air. And one of the things that we encourage in games is to teach legal throw-ins, which is so important as the kids get older. And they progress in competition level, to learn that technique. So that is something that is encouraged during the course of games. And if you have any questions on that, again, that's part of our, if it's your first time, it's part of our mentoring program. And certainly we have experienced coaches that can help with that. Jake.
Hey, Jim, can I jump in? Sorry. Blame this one on me. This is the grade 1-2 thing that Jim's talking about. Different setup for pre-K and K. If you're saying, wait, goalkeepers, what? Just sweepers for pre-K and K, and they do kick-ins, not throw-ins. This is the grade 1-2 game setup that Jim's seeing.
So can you clarify that? So grade 1-2, we have goalkeepers who can use their hands if they're in the box. Is that what we're saying?
That's correct. Sweeper keepers. We want them wearing the gloves, handling the ball like a goalkeeper in the box. And then when the ball's down at the other end of the pitch, getting forward and playing as a defender. So they're involved in the play, not just standing back between the pipes. as a spectator when the ball's at the other end.
Okay, and when they have the ball in their hands, what can they do with the ball?
They're gonna throw it. You
They're gonna
may,
throw it.
if you get a kid who's really eager to try punting it, it's just such a small field, we generally discourage punting.
Okay, and can you say encourage? Can we require everyone to play in goal? Does that work out well, or is that just a road you don't want to go down?
I think encouragement is probably the best way to go. If you require it, then you may be placing a child in a situation they don't necessarily want to be in.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nothing kills a game more than a kid in goal who really, really, really does not want to be in goal.
a good strategy is you start with volunteers and then you set up like a schedule. If you happen to be one team that gets 7 out of 8 volunteers, then you have to do like some sort of rotation of, okay, you 2, 3, 4 play this game. Next week we'll have the other 2, 3, 4 kids play. And it's coach's discretion whether or not you want to, depending on how big your roster is, if you want to switch every switch or if you want to do halves, or we don't encourage the full game as goalie.
Giving each player a half is a good way to go about it. It can be a little tough swapping in the middle of a half, just because then you're talking about taking, a kid removing a penny or something. It's much easier to give each kid a half in goal.
Thanks, guys. Any other questions about that, about format?
And sorry, Jim, for pre-K and K, just introduce the concept of a sweeper. It's great. Basically, they just play behind. You have 3 kids chasing after the ball and 1 kid playing just behind them as sort of a safety valve. You'll find that not only does it teach the sweeper the idea of playing a position, but it also then teaches those who aren't playing sweeper, oh, I'm not a sweeper, I'm an attacker. And it then pays dividends when they get up to grade 1 and 2, and there's a goalkeeper, and then all this stuff really pays dividends when they move up to travel and actually everyone has a position then.
Quick story about the goalies. Will the club provide gloves for the goalies, or?
Yes.
Okay.
And we'll talk about equipment at the end, near the end of the presentation. Our uniforms, you may be aware that we signed a multi-year sponsorship agreement with Puma, who recently moved their corporate offices to Somerville. If you haven't, you can see the big Puma building looking over the McGrath Highway in Foss Park. Uniforms will be distributed during the first day by the coaches at the first session. The difference this year is that it is not a reversible shirt. We've ordered those through our partner at We Got Soccer. I'm very pleased to announce that Bow Market has agreed to serve as a community sponsor for our in-town program at all 4 levels in 21-22. So we are currently screening the Bow Market logo on our uniforms. They are at We Got Soccer. Those will be picked up and distributed, will be available for distribution prior to the first session. So fields for pre-K and K are triangle field from 5 to 7 on weeknights and 8 to 1 on Saturday. We'll talk about the fields for travel, or I'm sorry, for 1 and 2 on the separate PowerPoint presentation. Nick, to answer your question, there's no need to order uniforms for in town. Those were pre-ordered by the organization back in the spring. So as I said, they'll be distributed to everybody.
Jim, there's invoices are going to go out for those for families.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Correct. The Somerville Youth Soccer weather policy, again, for rain, for light rain, unless the fields are closed by the city, assume that they are open. Please do not email Dave Ahouse, our fields director, or myself asking if the fields are open. Just assume that they are. For light rain, you can play on. For moderate rain, consider suspending play. Obviously, there's no mask concern right now, but consider suspending based on the conditions. Heavy rain, definitely suspend play. In the event of lightning, halt the training or games immediately and seek shelter, seek cover. You can resume 30 minutes after the last lightning strike, but again, depending on time constraints, you may
Please.
not be able to finish the session.
Thank you.
So from that end, again, just be aware of your
That's about
surroundings.
soccer.
Could we ask everyone to be on mute during the presentation? Thank you. With regard to, again, severe weather, if we are made aware that the fields are closed, or if we are monitoring a situation similar to what happened last weekend with the tropical storm / hurricane, we will get word out to everyone as quickly as possible. You can also check the Sports Engine app and our website to note whether or not that specific event has been canceled. So you'll receive notification of that as quickly as possible. The third situation would involve extreme temperatures. Hopefully in the fall, we won't experience any wind chills of 25, and hopefully we're past the extreme heat of 105. But if those situations were developed, then we would cancel sessions and let everyone know. So hopefully that will not be something we have to deal with this fall. In terms of, as I said before, with weather-related conditions, assume the fields are open unless you hear otherwise. Don't email or text Dave or myself. If you are canceling a session, please cancel it in the Sports Engine app if the grass fields are closed. If you're canceling a session for any other reason, please notify both Dave Ahaus and myself. You see the email addresses there. Dave's is fields@somervillesoccer.org. My address is below his. Please let us know if you're canceling it. Do not delete the event in Sports Engine. Just please mark it as canceled, and everyone will be notified accordingly. There are three quick things to talk about with regard to coaches' to-dos. As you see here, COVID, it's not really something as far as protocols go. We'll talk about that in a minute. With regard to coach credentialing, you must be credentialed, as I said before, by Mass Youth Soccer. The registration takes about 5 minutes. The background check, 5 minutes, as talked about before, with the concussion and the abuse prevention online training. That is the more time consuming. It's certainly an important part of the process. Once you have completed that registration, you need to then register with Somerville Youth Soccer to be added into Sports Engine. We can't add you or roster you until that happens. And you can find links to both these credential informations on our website at somervillesoccer.org/get-involved. For your equipment needs, our equipment director, Marco Vieira, will prepare all the equipment that you will need for the course of the year. He lives at 37 Clark Street, and you can see the items that he will pack for you. If you have additional requests, I know goalie gloves came up before. If there are additional requests or needs, please text Marco and advise him of what you would need for that. And he will put that together for you. Again, these items listed are pre-K, and we'll have the additional items under the 1-2 PowerPoint. COVID, obviously, with regard to COVID, as I said at the outset, there have been no new protocols established by the Commonwealth, by EEA, by Mass Youth Soccer. So there are no mask requirements for outdoor activities, which means they are not required during the course of competition, either training or in game situations. So, does anyone have any questions on that?
Jim, I think you were ahead on the last slide.
I'm sorry?
I didn't catch your last slide.
The last slide was just Q&A, Rodney. I'm switching over to first and second grade.
I just have a quick question on the courses that the concussion course and the child abuse course. If you had taken those courses as part of the spring training session, do you have to take them again?
Yes, they're required each year by Mass Youth Soccer
Okay, thank you.
for each season. Yep.
But make sure you log in, Andrew, because you might just need a refresher.
Okay, I can't remember in the spring if I had to create an account or not. But yeah, I'll go on to Mass Youth Soccer website and see what's the story there. Thanks.
It's on a cycle. So depending on how many years you've been coaching, like I've been coaching so long, now I'm on the second cycle and I had to take the full training again.
Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
that was long, Jake. I see you laughing.
Okay, can everyone see? Can everyone see this? There we go. Everybody see that okay? So again, these are now for grades 1 and 2, very similar to what we talked about before as far as game structure. 25-minute halves, 4-on-4 with goalkeepers. Goalkeepers will play as sweeper keepers, as Jake mentioned, pushing up as a defender. Please encourage everyone to play goal and to teach legal throw-ins. So very similar. Uniforms we talked about. Fields for the weeknight practices are 60 minutes. We'll use East Somerville Community School, Nunziato and Winter Hill. Saturday games will take place in the afternoons at East Somerville, Winter Hill, and Capuano, and the overflow will be at Nunziato. Weather policy and cancellations we talked about. I wanted to mention our roving academy trainer, instructor Dean Williams, is back with us once again this fall. He is a Somerville Youth Soccer alum, former Somerville High captain. He has been immense. Those of you who have participated in the open play sessions, particularly for first and second grade this summer, know that he has stepped up as a facilitator for that. He does most of his work in the spring, but he's certainly available for anything that you would need him for in the fall. We are looking as an organization to add a second academy trainer for the year, and we hope to have that in place within the next 2 weeks. We think it's such a valuable part of the overall mission of the organization, and in order to have to make sure that both of our instructors and trainers see all of our kids in town, that we are looking to add that second position. So again, many of the things we talked about for pre-K and K, similar to first grade. As far as the practice schedules, if you haven't submitted a practice request schedule, please do so to me as soon as possible. Dave Ahouse is working diligently to assign practice times. I have received a large number of the boys. I am looking for most of the girls' information. So I know we are still, as I said before, we are looking for coaches to fill that. So once you have that information, please submit that to me, and I will in turn put it together and send it along to Dave. The schedules, I know I've received a lot of communication from parents asking when the practice and game schedules will be completed. We are working diligently over the next couple of days to finalize that, along with the rosters, and to put that out. If you receive inquiries from any families asking about the information, can please forward that to me or have them contact me directly. I sent an email out about this the other day with regard to the in-town programs. So as you can imagine, trying to put together programs for kids at all levels, starting at age 2 and going to age 14, is a very very involved process for all of our board members and coordinators. So I appreciate the patience of everyone in town as we finalize this. So with regard to the information that was shared, if you have a question or need any assistance with information, please raise your hand and we'll be happy to call on you.
I don't think I have a specific question, but I've been struggling to get my Sports Engine profile to link with my team. So if we get some assistance with that, that'd be awesome.
Have you registered with Mass Youth Soccer?
Yes.
Okay. And you registered with Somerville Youth Soccer?
Yes.
Okay, you might want to, we had some issues with Sports Engine last week with regard to information showing up. It has now been set to the fall season. So it may be a case of just refreshing the app or refreshing the site. So that might be, I know that was an issue last week, so.
Do the email addresses between Mass Youth Soccer and Somerville and the Sports Engine thing have to be identical or?
No.
Okay. All right. I don't know what's going on then. I worked with Stephanie a little bit to try to sort it out, but it seems like it's just not working for me.
If it continues to happen, let me know. I did email Sports Engine about a couple of other issues, and as Jake and Greg and Dave and other members of our board know, we think that Somerville is the only city in the country that is bringing these issues to the attention of Sports Engine. They hear from us so much, but if you continue to experience issues, please let me know.
Okay.
I have a similar problem with Sport Engine. And I want to check, do I need to finalize all the concussion training before being able to see my roster?
Now, if you've registered and completed the core information, you can go back and complete the training separately. But make sure that you register with Somerville Youth Soccer on the Somerville Youth Soccer site as well, so that you can, so that your account will appear in Sports Engine.
Okay, I did. I think I did it.
Okay. Like I said, we had some issue. I know that the system had some issues last week, but it may be another case of, I don't know if you've refreshed the app or not, but if you can try that again. If it continues to be a problem, please let me know.
Okay.
Greg, did you want to talk about the coaches mentoring program?
Sure, Jim, thank you. And first, let me also just say thank you so much to all of you. Your time, your volunteering is honestly the lifeblood of the organization, and we really appreciate everything you do with the kids and to help our in-town program. So thank you for that. One new resource that we're going to be offering this season for the first time is a coaching mentoring program. And we're looking for folks to volunteer and enroll in that. If you'd like to be a mentor, that would be great. Please, you don't have to be Pep Guardiola to be a mentor. We'd love to have anybody who's had a little bit of experience and is willing to kind of reflect and share that experience join in. And if you're new to the program, or you feel like you'd like to have somebody that you can reach out to, like, I really wish I could just ask Brenton some real cool question, then please sign up. So I'll be sending an email around actually as soon as we finish these conversations with a little sign up link. It'll just ask you, what teams are you coaching this season? Tell us a little bit about what your goals would be. And then we'll match everybody up, and we'll make sure that Brenton gets at least 15 mentees. So you have a very good chance of getting him. So definitely sign up for that. And it'll be awesome. So we're looking forward to launching that shortly.
And I've seen Brenton in action, so he's the guy. If you want to mentor, Brenton is your guy. I also want to thank, what's that, Brenton? I'm sorry.
You got to put the work in. I've only seen a few other people go to these certification seminars and trainings. So it would be great to see some other Somerville coaches there.
See what kind of wisdom you can get from him, folks. I mean, this is what's on offer here.
And you get reimbursed to do the certifications and trainings. So I highly recommend you to try and find a few spare hours or weekend, good luck, and then get certified.
And actually, a lot of them on the certifications, there are several that they're offering fully online now as well. Obviously, I do think it's helpful to do at least one where you do a field component just to sort of get some suggestions about how to interact with the kids as sort of real examples. But if you don't have time for that and you just do the online one, it can be very, very helpful. So I completely echo that.
And before I forget, I want to give a special thanks to our age coordinators who have been amazing in putting all of this together as the season's gone along. Rodney Maribel is our in-town coordinator for the program. Stephanie Gray and Vito Laura just have been amazing with the boys. Judd Galloway has come on board with girls 1-2 this year and is doing a fabulous job. Matt Desmond is our kindergarten coordinator, and we are putting the pre-K together as well. So they have done a fabulous job. Stephanie and I commiserate. We probably, no lie, Stephanie and I have talked more in the last 3 days than probably I've talked to my wife in the last 3 days. So
I think I'm the only one that that I think I email you like half of the emails that you get, Jim.
well, it's my pleasure to assist, but none of this would be possible without their hard work. And to echo what Greg said, your volunteering is the lifeblood of our organization, and what you're doing makes such a difference in the lives of our young people. I firmly believe this as the father of 2 girls, now young women. Enjoy these days because they go by very quickly. I have a recent college graduate and a junior in college, and it seemed like yesterday they were sitting in high chairs and now they're sitting in cars and walking across graduation stages. So this goes on. This goes by very quickly. So enjoy that time. I also want to ask Dave Ahouse does a tremendous job as our fields coordinator director. Dave, do you have anything to add for our coaches tonight?
Oh yeah, sorry, I was just busy.
No worries.
Actually, practice schedules for the travel. So first, thank you all very much for joining. You guys are all the smart ones. The those that are not attending are going to be asking all the questions that you learned or answers that you learned. So please disseminate the information. We would all greatly appreciate it. Just to reiterate some of the things you said in regards to the fields. Typically, when it rains, sometimes it's really obvious that the fields are going to be canceled because, it's been pouring all day. That really only refers to the grass fields. The turf fields are open when it is raining, unless there is lightning. But as soon as we learn from the city that the fields are closed, so Jim and I got an email, check the app. We will post in the chats that grass fields are closed. Then we'll go into Sports Engine and we will cancel your practice. But we will do it as quickly as we can. So, that's basically the rules there. A couple of other things that he was mentioning, just to reiterate them, lightning. We all have cell phones. We have, you can check the apps and you can see where the lightning strikes are coming. You can hear them. As soon as you see one or you hear one, you need to seek shelter, have the kids get in cars or whatever. And you cannot start practice for another 30 minutes until after the last lightning strike. A couple other things, just so you guys know what the parameters are on the weather. If the heat index is 100 or greater, then we don't have practice. If the wind chill is 25 or under 25, we do not have practice. Hopefully we do not have to deal with either of those going forwards. Let me see what else we have here. For those of you who have turf practices, Brenton will back me up on this one. Rodney probably will too. Rain practices on turf are the most memorable. They are the best practices you may ever have. One of my little mottos is parents or adults cancel practices, kids don't. Trust me, it's raining out, it's 50 degrees and it's windy. It looks miserable. The kids want to go, the kids will have fun. I've had practices in that, and by the end of it, nobody had the raincoats on because they're all running around having a great time. So don't worry about the weather. The weather is an issue for the adults, not for the kids. So the other two things that have not been covered, there is goalie practices for grades 1 and 2. That is at Argentiano/Lincoln Park on Fridays from 5:30 to 6:30, led by M. Hadfield. And if she can't make it, then you're stuck with me. And then most importantly, every other Friday, starting at starting on the 10th of September from 8 to 10 p.m. at Capuano will be the coaches' game every other week. So all coaches are welcome, whether you think you are good like Brenton, or you actually are good, or you're not good. Doesn't matter your skill set. You are all welcome. It doesn't matter who you are. I think that is it for me. Anybody got any questions? Anything to add? Anything that I missed?
Just a simple question. Is it okay if those of us who are on the other side of the fence, whose number I won't put on, show up later? And my excuse is that I have a pre-existing commitment that I cannot get out of.
If you show up at 9, fine. You show up at 9:30, fine. Like, doesn't matter. You do not, I'm never going to be there today. I assure you of that. I don't think I've ever made the start of the game. So whenever you get there, you get there. And if you want to leave after 30 minutes, fine. You do not need to be there the whole time. You just do whatever you want to do, and whatever you're happy with and you're comfortable with, that's what you should do. But do wear shin guards.
I will be with you all in spirit at the coaches' games. Two things in full disclosure: I'm old and my knees will sue me for divorce if I get on the soccer field. And the third thing is I'm not very good, but I will cheer you all on and be there in competitive spirit. So thank you, Dave.
Not a problem. Any coaches have any questions for, there's a lot of board members here with a lot of coaching experience. So please ask away unless there's something else we need to cover.
Hey, one quick question. Some of my parents kind of ask about the future of soccer, the crystal ball. So it sounds like at the second or third grade, there's tryouts, but basically, as long as you're under 14, you know, there's going to be room for you on a team in Somerville. Is that the right way to respond to that question?
We do not have tryouts. We do not have tryouts. There are no tryouts. Every kid is guaranteed a spot. We have previously done field evaluations just to help make sure that a kid is placed on the appropriate team, but they are not tryouts, and every kid gets a spot through 8th grade if they would like to play with us.
Okay.
Correct. So once you, just so you guys know, to give you a glimpse of the future, once you get to 3rd grade, the objective is that kids are playing with kids of similar skill level, and then you are playing, not only you are playing against other towns, and you go from 1 practice a week to 2 practices a week, and that goes from 3rd grade all the way to 8th grade. You know, my kids are in 4th and 6th now, and I've been doing it for years now. So it's a lot of fun. You actually end up building up rivalries against other towns. So it is, it's really good.
Any other questions for our coaches, or any questions regarding the organization or the program?
Did we mention goaltender training? Is that relevant for the older B1, B2s, B1, G2s?
Yeah, Dave.
Yeah, so
Dave,
yeah, goaltender, yeah, that's for grades 1 and grades 2. It'll be 5:30 to 6:30 at Argentiano/Lincoln Park on Fridays. I need to get with Dom, and so we'll be sending out an invite to all the in-town or grades 1 and grades 2 teams this coming week, so that they can sign up for it, and that they can, you know, check to attend like regular practices. It's really good if they can check in appropriately.
I haven't seen you play goal yet, Dave. I've seen him. She's unbelievable. I'm looking forward to seeing you out there.
Oh, there's 3 goalie practice coaches, and I'm the worst by far.
Well, again, just to reiterate what everyone has said tonight, thank you can never be said enough to all of you for your time and for what you are doing for the kids in our community. On behalf of all of us in Somerville Youth Soccer, we hope you have a great fall season. If you need anything at any time, please don't hesitate to contact me or any of our board members, any of our coaches for any question that you may have. And again, this will be available for anyone who wasn't able to attend tonight, or if you would like to go back for any other refresher questions. Thank you once again. Hope you all have a great night and a great preseason, and looking forward to another great fall for both programs. So thank you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming, guys.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all.